Bible in a Year, the Message Version, April 16. Joshua chapter 13, verse 1 through chapter 14, verse 15. When Joshua had reached a venerable age, God said to him, "You've had a good long life, but there is a lot of land still to be taken. This is the land that remains, all the districts of the Philistines and Geshurites, the land from the Sihor River east of Egypt to the border of Ekron up north, Canaanite country. There were 5 Philistine tyrants in Gaza, in Gashdod, in Ashkelon, in Gath, in Ekron. Also the Evim from the south. All the Canaanite land from Arah, belonging to the Sidonians, to Ephrath, to the Amorite border, the country of the Gebalites, all Lebanon eastward from Baal Gad, in the shadow of Mount Hermon, to the entrance of Hamath, all who live in the mountains from Lebanon to Mesarephoth Maim, all the Sidonians. I myself will drive them out before the people of Israel. All you have to do is allot this land to Israel as an inheritance, as I have instructed you. Do it now. Allot this land as an inheritance to the 9 tribes and the half-tribe of Manasseh. The other half-tribe of Manasseh, with the Reubenites and Gadites, had been given their inheritance by Moses on the other side of the Jordan eastward. Moses, the servant of God, gave it to them. This land extended from Aroer at the edge of Arnon Gorge and the city in the middle of the valley, taking in the entire tableland of Medeba as far as Dibon, and all the towns of Sihon, king of Amorites, who ruled from Heshbon and out to the border of the Ammonites. It also included Gilead, the country of the people of Geshur and Makkah, all the Mount Hermon, and all Bashan as far as Salakah, the whole kingdom of Og and Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He was one of the last survivors of the Rephaim. Moses had defeated them and taken their land. The people of Israel never did drive out the Gershites and the Maccathites. They're still there, living in Israel. Levi was the only tribe that did not receive an inheritance. The fire gift offerings to God, the God of Israel, are their inheritance, just as he told them. To the tribe of Reuben, clan by clan, Moses gave the land from Aroer at the edge of the Arnon Gorge, and the town in the middle of the valley, including the tableland around Medeba, Heshbon on the tableland with all its towns, Dibon, Bamoth, Baal, Beth, Jazaz, Kedathmoth, Mephath, Kurlam, Sibah, Zerath, Jazar on Valley Mountain, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, Beth Jesmoth, and all the cities of the tableland, the whole kingdom of Sihon king of the Amorites, who ruled at Heshbon, whom Moses put to death along the princes of Midian, Elevi, Rakem, Zor, Har, and Reba, who lived in that country, all puppets of Sihon, in addition to those killed in battle, Balaam, son of Beor, the soothsayer, who was put to death by the people of Israel. The boundary for the Reubenites was the bank of the Jordan River. This was the inheritance of the Reubenites, their villages and cities, according to their clans. To the tribe of Gad, clan by clan, Moses gave the territory of Jazer, and all the towns of Gilead, and half of the Ammonite country as far as the Aror near Rabath, the land from Heshbon to Ramoth, Mizpah and Betanam, and from Mananaim to the region of Debir. In the valley, Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon, with the rest of the kingdom of Sihon king of Heshbon, the east side of Jordan, north to the end of the sea of Kinnereth. This was the inheritance of the Gadites, their cities and villages, clan by clan. To the half-tribe of Manasseh, clan by clan, Moses gave the land stretching out from Mananam, all the Bashan, which is the entire kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and all the settlements of Jaar in Bashan, 60 towns in all, half of Gilead with the Astaroth and Adari, the royal cities of Og and Bashan, belonging to the descendants of Machir, a son of Manasseh, in other words, the half-tribe of the children of Machir for their clans. This is the inheritance that Moses gave out when he was on the plains of Moab across the Jordan east of Jericho. But Moses gave no inheritance to the tribe of Levi. God, the God of Israel, is their inheritance, just as he told them. Here are the inheritance allotments that the people of Israel received in the land of Canaan. Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the family clans made the allotments. Each inheritance was assigned by lot to the 9.5 tribes, just as God had commanded Moses. Moses had given the 2.5 tribes their inheritance east of the Jordan, but hadn't given inheritance to the Levites as he had to the others, because the son of Joseph had become 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. They gave no allotment to the Levites, but they did give them cities to live in with pasture rights for their flocks and herds. The people of Israel followed through exactly as God had commanded Moses. They apportioned the land. The people of Judah came to Joshua at Gilgal. Caleb, son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, spoke. You'll remember what God said to Moses, the man of God, concerning you and me back at Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of God, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought back an honest and accurate report. My companions who went with me discouraged the people, but I struck to my guns totally with God, my God. That was the day that Moses solemnly promised, the land in which your feet have walked will be your inheritance, you and your children's forever. Yes, you have lived totally for God. Now, look at me. God has kept me alive as he promised. It is now 45 years since God spoke these words to Moses, years in which Israel wandered in the wilderness, and here I am today, 85 years old. I'm as strong as I was the day Moses sent me out. I'm as strong as ever in battle, whether coming or going. So give me this hill country that God promised me. You yourself heard the report that Anakim were there with their great fortress cities. If God goes with me, I will drive them out, just as God said. Joshua blessed him. He gave Hebron to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as an inheritance. Hebron belongs to Caleb, son of Jehohanan, the Kenizzite, still today, because he gave himself totally to God, the God of Israel. The name of Hebron used to be Kirathim Arba, named after Arba, the greatest man among the Anakim, and the land had rest from war. Luke chapter 18, verse 1 through verse 17. Jesus told them a story showing that it was necessary for them to pray consistently and never quit. He said, "There was once a judge in some city who never gave God a thought and cared nothing for people. A widow in that city kept after him. 'My rights are being violated. Protect me.' He never gave her the time of day, but after this went on and on. He said to himself, 'I care nothing what God thinks, even less what people think. But because this widow won't quit badgering me, I'd better do something and see that she gets justice. Otherwise, I'm going to end up beaten black and blue by her pounding.' Then the master said, 'Do you hear what that judge, corrupt as he is saying? So what makes you think God won't step in and work justice for his chosen people who continue to cry out for help? Won't he stick up for them? I assure you he will. He will not drag his feet. But how much of that kind of persistent faith will the Son of Man find on earth when he returns?' He told this next story to some who were complacently pleased with themselves over their moral performance and looked down their noses at the common people. 2 men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee, the other a taxman. The Pharisee posed and prayed like this: 'Oh God, I thank you that I am not like other people, robbers, crooks, adulterers, or heaven forbid, this tax man. I fast twice a week. I tithe on all my income.' Meanwhile, the tax man slumped in the shadows, his face in his hands, not daring to look up, said, 'God, give mercy. Forgive me. I'm a sinner.' Jesus commented, 'This tax man, not the other, went home made right with God. If you walk around with your nose in the air, you're going to end up flat on your face. But if you're content to be simply yourself, you will become more than yourself.' People brought babies to Jesus, hoping he might touch them. When the disciples saw it, they shooed them off. Jesus called them back. 'Let these children alone. Don't get between them and me. These children are the kingdom's pride and joy.' Mark this. Unless you accept God's kingdom in the simplicity of a child, you'll never get in." Psalm chapter 85, verse 1 through verse 13. A Korah psalm. God, you smiled on your good earth. You brought good times back to Jacob. You lifted the cloud of guilt from your people. You put their sins far out of sight. You took back your sin-provoked threats. You cooled your hot, righteous anger. Help me again, God. God of our help. Don't hold a grudge against us forever. You aren't going to keep this up, are you? Scowling and angry year after year? Why not help us make a fresh start, a resurrection life? Then your people will laugh and sing, "Show us how much you love us, God. Give us the salvation we need." I can't wait to hear what he'll say. God's about to pronounce his people well, the holy people he loves so much, so they'll never again live like fools. See how close his salvation is to those who fear him? Our country is home base for glory. Love and truth meet in the street. Right living and whole living embrace and kiss. Truth sprouts green from the ground. Right living pours down from the skies. Oh yes, God gives goodness and beauty. Our land responds with bounty and blessing. Right living strides out before him and clears a path for his passage. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 7 and verse 8. A prestigious, showy life is an empty life. A plain and simple life is a full life. The rich can be sued for everything they have, but the poor are free of such threats. This was a daily reading of the Message version of the Bible, read to you by Bible in a Year.